So what's up, y'all? This is D. I decided to bring you guys along for the ride as I test out a new heater that I plan on using for the 125. So let's take a look. So I reached out to Hygger, a company that I've used for quite a few pieces of equipment on the tank, and they were nice enough to send me this adjustable heater to test out, so I'm bringing you along for the ride. So let's take a look at it. For sake of full disclosure, I have to tell you that I got this at no charge from Hygger with the agreement that I would test it with no bias and give you a fair and unbiased opinion, as I do with everything, because I hate nothing less than to put my name behind something I don't believe in. So this is the HG 152 400 to 800 watt heater. I'm going to test it out because if it works well, I'm going to actually get 2 more of these for my other tanks so that I can have the freedom of having a consistent heating system on all my tanks that are set up the same way. So let's take a look at it. So it's fully submersible and it's adjustable thermostat, which most heaters claim to be. It comes with an automatic shut-off feature, which we'll have to look at, and I'll go over the instructions for that. Let's look at the product features. Now, according to the box description, of course, it's fully submersible as we would expect, and it has a adjustable thermostat, which you can see here. It has a automatic shut-off feature, and it has a digital display, which I'm loving to have digital displays outside of the tank so I can actually see what the temperature is as well as see what it's set at. So the product features here, we take a look at the product features. Of course, as I mentioned, it has a digital temperature display, it has some easy to use controls here, as well as an automatic shut off. I'm very curious to look at the memory feature. It says it has a memory function. I guess if you lose power or you have a blackout or you unplug it by mistake, it'll keep the settings for the heater intact. So it also says right here, I know I don't have my glasses, but it says that it has a warning signal. Now we'll check that out and see if that's a low temperature or a high temperature warning, or maybe if it's a warning if the water level runs low, but we'll look at the instructions and follow that further. Let's get it open. All right, we got the heater, we got the manual. This is a pretty nice looking heater. In comparison to those old glass heaters, this looks pretty sleek. I gotta tell you, at first glimpse, this is nice. You can see it says right here. Okay, there's the good old branding. Let me zoom out a little bit. Quartz heater, nice. I like the protective covering. Those of you with the cichlid tanks, how many times have you had those glass heaters get hit by rocks and things like that? This is definitely well protected. You can see that the heaters are actually inside this case. I don't think we'll ever have to open this for whatever reason, but that is the heater itself, followed by the display. This is a very formidable display on, once again, 400 800 watt. Pretty simple. It has a little mounting screw here, so you can mount it on the side of the tank or mount it on your wall or inside your cabinet, what have you. And it's pretty cut and paste, power and temperature. So you don't need to be a rocket scientist. I love that. I hate when you get things with like 400 buttons. This is pretty much power, set up the temperature, and you're off to the races. Has a nice mounting bracket here. There's a mounting bracket here. So yeah, perfectly fit for the cables to run through there. Sits in there nice. You can mount that on the side of your tank. You'll have a nice, well-to-do, controllable heater that you can actually go to in the summer, lower it in the winter, you can raise it. I love having the controls outside the tank. You don't know how important that is. So kudos to Hygger for that. So very nice, well built. Let's get it into function. So everybody, we're at the test tank. What I have out here is some equipment that I use to test various things before I put them in my tanks. The chefs have the test kitchen, D got the test tank, and we do everything real time because tanks are real biz. And I got my little test tank here set up with my thermometer here to give you a real live actual presentation of what this heater is capable of. Right now we got the tank set at the low 70s here. And I'm going to bring you in to see that we have the heater in here we want to test how fast this heater actually performs and how well it performs. So right now I'm outside. I'm going to plug up the control here with my extension, and immediately I'm going to bring you into the shade for a second. So as soon as I plug in the heater, you'll notice that I get a real live reading of what the controller is getting from the tank that it's set in. And it's showing you that it is getting an actual 71-degree reading, and it's already starting to set the heating temperature to 77.9. Now, what I love about this heater is not only do you get a reading, but you can see it in real time. You see this is motion. I know it's hard to see outside, but you'll see that there is a temperature bar and it's actually rotating to show that the heater is actually performing. And you can see that the temperature is changing as we're standing here. So let me get you out of the glare. So if you look real close, you'll see that the actual setting is set to 93 degrees. Now, of course, we're never going to have the tank set at 93 degrees, but I have it set so that you can see how fast it's actually adjusting the temperature in the tank. It has a current air temperature and it has a current tank temperature, so you can see what your room temperature is, which I guess is a sensor inside this unit here, and you're getting a real live actual reading of what's going on in the tank. Easy to set it to 75. You can see it's holding at 422 watts, and the temperature is currently 72 degrees in the tank. And you can see by the motion bar, I'm trying to hold it at an angle, you can see the motion bar is moving and rotating to show that it is actually functioning, and the temperature is changing rapidly. One of the good things that I like to test before I put a heater in the tank is the ability to know whether it's on or off, and that is a major thing with this heater. I can see by the motion that it is on and running. Now, one of the other things I'm going to test is this has an automatic shut off, and of course you wouldn't be playing with your heater with your hands in the tank most of the time, but sometimes we drain the tank, and you can see as soon as I remove the heater from the water, you hear an audible alarm. As soon as I put it back in the tank, the alarm goes off. So I have yet to see any other heater with that feature, with an audible alarm. So I'm definitely giving this a real high rating for that, because how many times have you just set your tank to change water or forgot that you had the water draining out and you got your heater in there? Sometimes those glass heaters just up and break. So kudos to Hygger for being one of the only people that I know of, maybe I'm missing the mark, one of the only companies that I know of with that audible alarm. And as you can hear, it is very loud. It has been less than 10 minutes, and although this is a 10-gallon tank, you can see that it's set to 75 and it has already raised the temperature to 74.5. That is less than 10 minutes with the water not moving. So I'm going to verify that with ye good old-fashioned mercury powered thermometer, and you can see once again it is pretty damn accurate. You got 74 and 74. You can even read the little lines there. So Hygger, good job. Based on this, 1 day of use, testing it, let's break it down. So overall, what's my opinion? I think it's a good heater. Looks good, does the job, it's easy to set, and it's not a fortune. That's all I need. I'll be getting another one of these heaters for this tank right behind me, because I like to have consistency throughout the house. So if you got experiences with the Hygger heaters such as this one, share them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And until next time, I'm signing out. I got water changes to do, people. Love, peace, and hair grease. Shout out to Hygger.